Social media has become quite useful, particularly for small businesses who use it as a way of attracting new customers. Although social media appears simple, there are a number of important tips and lessons for people hoping to make the most of it should learn. Nkamdeling Beho, CEO, Future Software Resources, joins to share tips for social media success.
Yeah, social media, is it still effective?
Definitely. I think actually it's more effective than ever. And I think more and more brands are getting aware of how they can use social media and digital media in general to push their brands. I think especially, after the, recession started, a lot of brands didn't have enough budget to market in the traditional way anymore. So they all went onto social media. So I think in general, we can definitely see an upward trend for digital media and social media.
But it looks like it's getting more expensive because more brands are also competing for space. Can you explain that?
Yes, definitely. So I mean, now you can't just post a random picture that you took, maybe in your office or something. You have to make sure that you have the right graphic design, that you have proper brand collateral, that you have a brand identity on your social media, and that you have a strategy behind it as well. Because, as you said, more and more people are competing in the same space. The person who looks the best, it's all about packaging. That's what. Yeah, but it's true. It's all about packaging. That's what marketing in general is, right? So whether you have a billboard somewhere, the billboard can't look weird. It has to look good, for people to actually look at it and say, "Oh wow, what's this?" And it's the same thing with social media. So you have to work much harder to stand out. Working much harder usually means that you need to spend a little bit more than you might have done 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes, but how would small businesses, so for big businesses that's not a problem, but for small businesses, how would they deal with that?
So for small businesses, I think if you get your strategy right, everything else you can sort of sort out. There are a lot of graphic design tools that don't require you to be a graphic designer, like Canva, for example, has a lot of templates. You can do amazing stuff with it. So if you have an eye for it and you are good at copying, then it's much easier for small brands. And I've actually seen that most small brands do better social media than big brands because it's the founders that are doing it themselves. So you see the passion, you see, the vision, you see, the excitement behind the brand. Big brands, they've outsourced it to some guy in an agency who really doesn't, know the brand properly most of the time, so it might not translate as well as, it does for the founder doing it themselves, yeah.
Yeah, but one worry for me is that as more people move into social media, it's as if we're exporting money in tons abroad. What do you think about that?
So I think yes and no. So obviously, in terms of running ads, obviously that revenue all goes abroad. But I think you have to look at it beyond that, right? So in order to run your social media successfully, you need somebody who's going to do your graphics. You need somebody who's going to write your.
Yeah, but what if I export that? What if I hire
Well,
Indian?
you can export that. However,
so it means the whole value chain becomes foreign.
Yes. However, so Futuresoft is one of the agencies that is currently trying to change that. There are a couple of others who are doing training as well. We're doing training both for CEOs so that they actually understand the strategy behind it, that they understand how to do their social media successfully and what it takes, and they understand that you do need to put some money behind it, and it's not you hire some kid that you pay 25K and then suddenly you're a rising star. It doesn't work that way. But we're also training actual social media managers, because I think that there's a lot of training and a lot of talk about we need to train developers. That's fantastic, but the value chain doesn't end when the site is built or the platform is built. That's just the beginning, right? So you build something and then what? Who's going to market it for you? If you don't have proper social media managers, you don't have proper people who understand how to do digital marketing, how to do search engine optimization, how to make sure that all your digital assets are protected properly, then at the end of the day, you have to outsource that. And then the money goes outside. But if we can train our people here to actually be able to fulfill that entire value chain. And it, you know, depending on what kind of brand it is, it even goes beyond just the social media, because there's an entire sales pipeline there. This social commerce is on the rise.